I thought I'd do a video update. So for the last few days, I haven't been on. I haven't been doing much because my daughter visited me because I haven't seen her for a year because of the. Well, she's been very busy with her boat because she's yeah my youngest daughter's. She's just been um very busy on her boat. She's doing painting and decorating. Well, not decorating technically, but it's she's living on a cruiser boat and cheaper than paying rent for a flat, I suppose. But anyway, so she came to see me because I've seen her for like, oh god, I don't know. It was Chris. I think it was Christmas before last Christmas. I didn't even see her at Christmas. So anyway, so what we did was um, we've been trying to find an opportunity um, to actually take some home video on the drone, and I uh, I got a bit sick of the all the little test flights I was doing with the Ford DRC F3 drone in the garden because I was suspicious that it wasn't getting a good GPS lock because sometimes it would fly all right, sometimes it would hover and fly, but it was constrained because there's too many buildings around here really to it's a high risk situation if it's an unstable drone. So let's just get to the crux of that. I mean, if you're flying a drone and you don't know its characteristics or its little quirks, it can be a high risk situation. So obviously, when I tested flying in the backyard, I was surrounded by there was a lot of trees and that, and it was closed down. It was closed in basically, and it couldn't really go anywhere. It couldn't fly off and into somebody else's property basically because it's quite constrained around the back. And I did a few test flights, and a few times I had to land it quickly because it went a bit bonkers. And at first I thought it was because it wasn't getting a good GPS signal. I thought the buildings around me was blocking some of the satellites, and so I decided what I would do was I didn't even file a flight plan for this because you can't file a flight plan when you're testing to see if a drone is stable or not because they sometimes have a mind of their own. You've got to compensate basically. You've got to try to control them and keep them where you need them to be. So you know what I mean? It's like a dog on a leash, right? You've got to pull back on the dog depending on wherever the dog wants to go. You can't plan where the dog wants to go. You've got to basically compensate for whatever the dog does. But that's what a drone is like, really. So that's what I'm saying. You can't do a flight plan for that. Impossible. Anyway, so what I decided to do was to take my good drone, which is the C-Fly Faith Mini, and also the Ford DRC F3 drone. So that's two drones. I decided to take both of them down to the beach, which was the Star Map down at the Scarborough. And when I was down there, I was quite surprised because we had a look around, a bit of a walk around the area, just to familiarise myself and that. And I noticed that there was this burned mark on the wall where it looked to me like somebody else had smashed a drone because I was looking at it and it looked like melted plastic on the concrete floor, and I immediately came to the conclusion that looked to me like somebody else had smashed and crashed a drone into the wall and it had caught fire for some reason. Well, that's what it looked like. It didn't look like somebody had set a fire. It looked more like there was some kind of minor incident. So it's a pretty good area. It's a safe area, really. So I've got some footage, but I'll have to edit it yet because I haven't compiled the video yet. It's still on this phone. Actually, I have to edit it, put it on the computer and edit it down because. So I wanted to test the Ford DRC. Immediately on taking off, it just, yeah, it was crap. It just wouldn't. As soon as I took off, it just started to toilet bowl. You know, there's a term in drones called toilet bowling, which is when this, if you're looking down on it, it starts to go in a spiral like that, and it was out of control. And in fact, it was it really made me angry actually, because this 4DRC, it was just uncontrollable basically. I had no means of I don't know what's going on. I don't know what was going on with it, but it, uh, it smacked into my leg. You know, I took it off normally with the joysticks and that, so I was definitely linked on my joysticks. And I took it off, and it was toilet bowling like this, and it actually flew back and hit me on the leg, but it didn't hurt me or out. It's not particularly strong because these props on these the 4DRC, they're geared motors, so they're not brushless motors. They're standard types of DC motors which are on there. Um, anyway, it went and smacked into my frigging leg, didn't it? So it attacked me basically. My own drone attacked me, right? So I am not impressed with it at all. And I was originally going to sell that, you know, and now I don't even want to sell it because I don't want to. I don't want to upset anybody else by selling it to them, because I feel kind of, yeah. So I can't even send it back. So I can't even send it back because it's been a few months now since I got it. And so just for dreams, 4DRC, nightmare, more like, just for nightmares. So yeah, it's not good. So, and I went and bought all these spare props for it and spare motors for it, which is all a bad investment, and that's set me out of pocket. And I'm skidding again. I've got no freaking money now till Monday, and I'm struggling. And my daughter's been trying to help me a bit, but she can't really because she's struggling a bit too. So we're gonna have to. I don't know. I might just sell it for scrap. Basically, that's how bad it is, right? I'm probably gonna sell it for scrap or sell it for parts or something. The value, the actual component value of it is because of the batteries. Because it's got decent batteries. They've never really been used properly, so I would say the battery value alone is probably 30 quid, right? Because these batteries are like, if you buy batteries for drones on the internet, you can expect to pay £50 for a battery for a drone, right? 50 quid, that's just for the C-Fly Faith Mini, for example. And these batteries for the 4DRC F3, they're not as powerful as the C-Fly Faith Mini, or maybe they are, but maybe it's just that the other drone has got more efficient motors. Anyway, so they're round about the same amp hours. But anyway, I don't want to waffle too much about it, but basically there's two options. I could have a word with a friend of mine. I would like a friend of mine. Stuart, if you're watching, I can't seem to get you on I can't seem to ring you actually, Stuart. He lives in Filey. Anyway, maybe you could ring me or something, because I can't seem to get in touch with you. I've tried ringing you and your phone doesn't work. I was wondering whether or not you've got any ideas about whether or not the GPS module can be replaced with another one, because I think it's the GPS module that's bad on it. I think that's what the problem is. Now, I could strip it down. I could strip it down and have a look to see if there's any dry joints or bad soldering on it. That might be one possibility, but I am looking for some ideas whether or not this 4DRC F3 drone can be salvaged or not. Can it be salvaged? Or is it scrap? That is a question. Anyway, so we did take a little bit of footage on the C-Fly, and that was stable. I mean, my other drone was perfect. It just hovered, but even then it was being buffeted by the crosswinds, because we're in a sheltered area where I went, and I didn't really go high up really. I think the maximum I went is 20 feet. Was it? Yeah, 20 feet. I just went up a little bit to test it, and yeah, just see what the wind was like to get a feel. And yeah, it was. It was rough, so we didn't really fly for long. Um, I just had it hovering basically in place, and we took some family video. And anyway, I'll publish that. I'll put that on my YouTube channel later on. Um, so we didn't fly. I didn't fly long because I didn't feel competent. I didn't. Not That's the wrong word. I didn't. It's the competent is not the right word. I didn't feel that the weather was suitable, so I didn't feel comfortable flying in that kind of situation with the gusty winds coming, because we've got a storm coming in basically, and um, some guy come passed by when I was flying the other drone for DRC, and I was talking about it and saying I was actually quite angry actually at that point when it crashed into my leg. I was really annoyed with it because you see, when a drone malfunctions like that, it passes the responsibility, and the consequences are a direct responsibility of the pilot, which was me. So basically, because that freaking other drone, the 4DR CF3, because it behaved in such a way that it was unstable, the manufacturers are basically who made that are selling inferior or unstable drones that actually impact the credibility and the safety of members of the public. And they shouldn't be selling drones like that are unsafe to be flown in the first place. They should be sued basically, because that drone, that quadcopter is dangerous to fly. So I doubt if I'll ever fly it again, unless it can be repaired or something. But yeah, so it's the one that used to keep crashing indoors. It's just the optical flow doesn't work basically. The optical flow system does not work on it. The GPS is intermittent. It seems to work sometimes and not other times. There seems to be an imbalance in the programming of the drone. Anyway, I'm sick of talking about it. I really do. I just don't want to talk about that freaking thing anymore. I just want to focus on stuff that does work, and that as far such as the GD95, the orange one which I've got, that's very stable. That is much more stable than the 4DRC, and also the C-Fly Faith Mini, which I'm really impressed with. I'm absolutely totally impressed with that C-Fly Faith Mini. It's in a whole world of its category of its own. Apart from, obviously, I don't have a DJI, but those apparently are superior. But the C-Fly is, I would say, is probably in second place. It's very stable. I wanted to do some follow me videos, but I was very reluctant to try it because I did hear that that the C-Fly wasn't particularly good with the follow me modes, and because of that wind that we had, I was just a little bit concerned it might fly off and follow a seagull or something instead of following my daughter, because I wanted to try and follow my daughter. Well, yeah, we'll try again when the weather's better, when it's not as windy, because you've got to really choose the appropriate weather conditions. You need to be sure that you're in control of the situation, and obviously if you've got strong winds and you've got environmental impacts, then that dilutes the amount of control that you have over aircraft, right? Because it takes away some of that control from you. It subtracts the stability aspect of it. So anyway, enough waffling. I've been going on for too long. It's 14 friggin' minutes. I'll get this other video footage edited as soon as I can, and I'll probably put the links to that footage on the end of this video later on, but it won't be there yet. So what you'll have to do is, if you miss it or you don't see it pop up, you'll have to come back to this video in your history and look on the end screen, and there'll be I'll put some links on the end of this video to the new footage later on. When I say later on, it could be a week, maybe 4 or 5 days away, because I yeah, I've not been so good this week. In fact, my chest has been really bad, and it took me forever just to climb down that flipping cliff, down the steps. And, when we're going, ugh, yeah, I wasn't feeling so good. Okay, I'm waffling again. See you later. Bye for now.